Did you come into the race with the feeling that this was the one shot, arguably, or at least the easiest one?
It was oof. I don't know if it was the easiest one, to be honest with you. You looked at the statistical probabilities that people were voting on. Like Hunter McIntyre, he's 78%. Everybody believes in him. JK, if he beat me, that's okay. I'm in. Tim, if he beats me, that's okay. I'm in. But I'm still looking at Rich Ryan. He's dropped to 54. He's in here. Ryan Kent, when he pops a day, he's a problem. Like, it wasn't something that I looked at and said, oh, this is a light lineup. But I've qualified for world championships in the elite wave every single year I've raced at HYROX. Sometimes I've done it at the very last minute. It's been, Dylan doesn't have but, 3 weeks to get this figured out. He pins a time. I don't know. I just got to believe in myself. So I said I didn't fly across the country for anything other than a spot. I made it very clear that I wanted to come here and win. It's what you kind of have to do.
Did you feel written off? Because there's been occasions, right, in your career, like ahead of DC as well, where people really just underestimate you.
The people who know me and believe in me don't write me off, and I'll always respect them because of that and care. I know that I have a base of support for folks that even when I write myself off, that will say, shut up. Stop talking about yourself like that. You are capable of doing this. I had phone calls after Amsterdam that were like, I was so done, mentally, so done, torn up. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time on this? Spent 2 hours on the phone with Marcus Friesen, and he just talked me through. He's like, listen, man, rough spot right now. Shut up. You're better than this. Don't worry about it. And we talked and we built, we found confidence again. So if the vast majority of people write me off, I like it. Put that shit right there. Let me have it. It's fun. I can take that into my training. I can take that into the race. But I can also know that sitting on this other shoulder is a base of support. That, hey, we come out of this, maybe we didn't win it. I'll fall back on that. We do win it. Call back to those people and say thank you. So that's how I approach races. If people don't think that I'm the guy, awesome. Tell me that. I love it. If you believe in me and you're somebody close to me, thank you for that. I need it. I love it. And you're going to hear from me both ways. So that's kind of how we go into these things.
Because your reaction at the end of the race, having won it, was big, right? It showed how much that meant to you.
Mm-hmm. And I think there was a question asked. Somebody asked, who is that to? To whoever I need it to be to. Yeah. There might be a time 2 years down the road that I'm still racing the sport and I'm going through a rough patch and I'm losing. I'm hurt. I'm injured. And I'm doubting any possibility that I ever have of coming back. And maybe I go watch that clip and I say, that is Dylan to Dylan. Do I have to remind you who I am? And I might have to watch that from myself to myself and go, yeah, actually you did have to remind yourself. All right, get back up. It's not always as direct as things might seem, So.
Yeah, we're real humans, real life things. Yeah, and there are real big races on the line.
For sure. And also, this is a competition. When you line up, you let the competitor out.
Yeah.
There's a place, if you are a competitive person, to be a competitor. From start to finish, victory, losses. You should be all in. You should be emotionally invested. When I am at work and I'm doing my job and I'm working with people, that intensity does not need to be there. When I'm with my son and we are playing with trains, that intensity does not need to be there. That's okay. But that intensity exists in me as a person, and this is an outlet for it. And that's a moment for it. And you're allowed to feel that way. And anybody who's like, you shouldn't be acting like that, guess what? You've probably never been there, and you've probably never unleashed whatever that side of you is to really feel like, I'm gonna let that rip. And then know, hey, we're gonna bottle that back up. Because there's whole other facets of you as a person where that does not belong. And you should be able to do that, because that's self-control. Let it out when it needs to come out. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was awesome to watch.
Thank you.
That battle with Hunter McIntyre. Ooh. Talk me through that. Just the kind of obviously he comes with such a presence as an athlete. We all know what he's capable of. But when you're one-on-one in such close proximity and you're going tit for tat and you're trading kind of blows on the stations, keeping your cool in those scenarios, knowing and then going ahead and trying to keep him at bay, how do you manage all of that out on course?
Hunter's a human being. He has a persona, he has ego, he has a presence. He tried to play to that. He pumped his fist. He brought the crowd into it. He is a man. I am a man. We're in a competition. He is not God. Never will be. He's been beaten. He'll be beaten again. I managed to beat him this time. Does it happen often? No. He's kicked my teeth in, for years. But I got him this time. And I've always said that. You can go back, because there was a question, is Hunter unbeatable? And I listed a list of names of guys who could beat him. They have beaten him. Almost every single one of them have beaten him at this point. It was Alex Ronkovic. It was Michael Sandbach. It was Ryan Kent. It was me. Ryland Shadegg hasn't had an opportunity to really race him that well head-to-head yet. But I listed 4 of those 5 guys have not beat him, because nobody in the sport is unbeatable. And if you line up and you get in a race and you're like, hey, I'm 5 stations deep and I'm rolling beside Hunter McIntyre and he's the world record holder and he's been the guy, and you're like, but I'm not the guy. Today, I'm the guy. And we're going to be that. We're going to be that all the way to the 100th wall ball, and then we're going to walk across the line and we're going to go, today, I'm the guy. You have to have that kind of confidence. Logical, cool, be there, know it, know your odds. But at the same time, delusional, you better tap into it, because that's the only way you're ever going to compete at the top.
I feel like we need to talk about your training, because obviously everybody knows that you have a living room that is largely also a gym. And you spend 90% of your life sat on bikes and rowers.
Basically.
But the other day, you were doing a sled pull in your kitchen next to the fridge?
Yeah, we have, might be a tire carpet that runs from one side of the living room through because it's an open concept sort of deal, and it just runs all the way to the pantry door, and so it just to the middle of the house, and I'll just do sled pulls and back up to the fridge. Yeah.
Madness.
I guess so.
Are you adapting your training as we ease into what is now expected of the elite field, and has that training changed? Because you are extremely high volume.
Yeah, I feel like I do less dumb workouts now. There was a time frame in training that I was just do you want to be miserable? Yes. Okay. And then we would just do things that were miserable. And that was good, because it teaches you really how to suffer. And from time to time, I do things that are this is just, this is going to suck. And that's fine. It's good to have that capacity, especially when races go bad. So, but I think that I've tailored things a little bit more. I've found some specific things that translate over well, and have started to kind of create that framework that those fit into, doing less things out of just the pure effort sort of side of things. I just want to exert effort. But now it's hey, let's exert concentrated effort towards a goal. And so, yeah, things are switching a little bit, but I'm still high volume, crazy athlete, spend a lot of time on the ergs, and I don't know, that's where I'm comfortable, Not as comfortable in a squat rack, but I should be there more. So I'm trying.
Hey, it's working.
It's working. Whatever I'm doing is working. I'll give it that.
Finally, I want to reference the wonderful DM you got.
That was great.
That was awesome.
So like I said,
give us some context. Yeah, what happened?
Well, so I booked my Uber, land here on Wednesday. Get in the car with the dude, and the guy's name's Sean. Sean and I are just talking. Cool dude. It has hands in music. We were talking about family, talking about he's got nephews and stuff that play ball at UCLA, talking about his kids who played, the sports all over the place. I was like, dude, you got athletic family, all this kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, what are you here for? I explained the race. I'm I'm here for this. We got a world qualifier. I guess I brought an air of confidence to the car. I was pretty frank. I said, listen, man, I'm here to get my spot. I want to win. I'm not the favorite. I'm probably not the best guy on the line. I think I didn't tell him brother, if you got money, bet on me. That was not how it was portrayed. But it was enough to say I don't get on planes and fly places unless I have intentions to perform. Yeah. So I'm going through all my DMs, and I get through there, and I get to one, and it's this guy named Sean. It's yo, it's your Uber driver from the other day. I knew a champion when I talked to you was in the car because just the way that you came across. I knew you'd get the job done. I was like, that's some commitment.
That's so cool.
He doubled back twice to ask before I got out of the car, like, what is the name of the sport and what is your name? And so he locked in and he went and found HYROX. He went and found out who won. And then he hit me up and said, I knew I had a champ in the backseat. And I was like, that's so funny. Like, what a guy.
I love America. I feel like that America brings those kind of stories and connections.
It does. People here are very like, they just talk. Yeah. You know, there's not like I got in another Uber ride when I came over with 3 of the Germans. 3 Germans in the back. I'm in the front. Dead silence. Like, dead silence. There was a little bit of chatter. I talked to the Uber driver a bit, but for the most part,
there's a real cultural clash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the Germans, to be honest. I think Tim Winnish and I saw each other 20 times by accident. I felt like the first 4 times I left my hotel room, I ran into him in the hallway. And it was weird. I was like, Tim, I'm not following you. I want you to know that. And I don't think you're following me. But like, we ended up we'd walk out and I'm like, I can't not see you. Different times, like just randomly, like in the gym, in the hallway, in the lobby. I'm like, why do we keep running into each other? Happened all weekend long. I saw him 3 times today. I never meant to see Tim.
Amazing.
I know. I guess we were just supposed
What
to
a weekend.
What a weekend.
Well, we're wrapping up Vegas.
Yeah.
You have got a race to get to, which we'll let you. And yeah, congratulations. You're going to the World Championships in Chicago.
I know. I'm excited.
It's going to be a proper party.
It will be.